So this is a great question. The first thing I think we have to remember why there might be a refusal to participate in therapy is that we have to remember that movement is hard. The work they are doing in speech therapy is hard. It's like going to the gym and doing a constant workout 5 days a week for us. And that's something that I kind of reiterate to parents is just remember what they're doing is hard work.
I would say if your child refuses to participate in speech therapy, approach it like you would when they refuse to do other things as well. So, well, first, let's use our detective skills. Investigate. We need to know the why. How are they feeling about speech therapy? Is it a problem with motivation? Are they feeling anxious? Is it too hard for them? If the child is working at a level that they perceive as being challenging or frustrating for them, where the rewards, whether intrinsic or external, don't match up with the work that they need to do, we've lost the child. Ask open-ended questions like, how do you feel about going to speech? Versus, do you feel overwhelmed? The open-ended questions open the door for more information sharing without unknowingly leading our children to say or think something different than what may be the case.
So if your child's pushing back, I always tell families, if your child's pushing back, please let us know. Let us know what your child's super into, so that way we can kind of change therapy up and maybe make that a highlight for a little bit. And then we can slowly get more and more back to what would be traditional, more drill motor speech therapy.
Sometimes we just need to back up the demand. These kids are coming in and they're not understanding what intensive motor speech therapy entails. And we may have to just go back down to the basis of teaching them how to move their body. For example, one child that I worked with, we just went back to doing the game Simon Says. And we just did it with our body, and I did big movements with my hands. And then I would do the Simon Says motions with my mouth, like Simon Says, open your mouth. Simon Says, close your lips. Simon, and I even put words in there. Simon Says, say me, and made it just easy where there wasn't a demand or pressure placed on them.
There have been times where our Apraxia star just honestly needed a break. And she was able to verbalize that. And so we were able to kind of negotiate rescheduling the appointment, to a different day.
I always tell parents, even if like they're going on vacation or I'm going on vacation and they're like, oh gosh, we're going to miss a week of therapy and what's going to happen. And I tell them more often than not, there's no research in this yet that I know of, but I see kids come back more refreshed and ready to put in more work. And sometimes they've kind of figured things out that we've been working on. Just like when we as adults go to work every day, you go to work, you need a break. And when you come back from vacation, you're refreshed and you're ready. You've had some time and you can tackle the hard stuff that you have to do at work. I think that at the foundation of every therapy session should be good rapport between the therapist and the child. And if you skip that step and go right into work, or you skip the step of building rapport and then maybe something falls off along the way, maybe there's been some vacation, some sick time, and you need to build that back up again, you have to go back to the beginning and build that foundation of rapport.
And when you know what they are interested and motivated, it also takes you in directions of activities you're going to select, but also the targets you pick for them too. I also think finding out more about them, also you find out what movements are hard for them. You find out what cues they benefit from better or ones they actually don't like. We have to sometimes be really careful in the type of feedback we give children in therapy so they don't shut down on us.
I always tell parents that the most difficult part of my job is not having their child be able to talk, but finding out what's motivating for them. So I think finding out those pieces that are super motivating for any child, that could be favorite toy, what sports they like, their favorite characters. And once you figure that out, and it can take a while, then I think that makes your job a lot easier. And then that will help kids be excited to go to therapy also.
You know, we try our best to prioritize her emotional and mental health, and that means treating her as a whole person, even though she's young. She's doing work in ways that we've never had to, and so we'll never understand what that means, and everybody deserves to rest, and including children with apraxia.
We also need to validate our child's feelings, whatever they are. Let them know it's okay to feel how they're feeling without judgment. I like sharing with my children how even we adults can feel similarly in similar situations. So we're normalizing their feelings and helping them build their resilience. And then we provide support. We remind, we reassure our children that we are there to support them every step of the way. Now, what does our support look like? Let's start by addressing any concerns from our children. Talk to them about the why again. Why do we go to speech therapy? How does it help? See if the children know the why. Do they know their goals in speech? That knowledge could be motivating for many children, especially when they're at an age where they can understand this. Work on problem solving as well with your child. Ask them for solutions. I like to ask my children to give me at least 3 different solutions. We know our goal is to be able to speak and communicate. How do we go about doing that? And then for each of their proposed solutions, have a conversation about the pros and the cons. And this way, you're involving them. You're involving your child in the decision-making process.
Other things that we have to do is don't force them. Just reassure them that this is hard work and that you're there to help them. Sometimes children just do better when they know that they can trust you and the demands aren't put on there.
And if after all these efforts, you find that your child continues to be reluctant and refuses to participate, and you feel that the child-therapist relationship is not what it should be, it may be worthwhile to look for another provider. So you could ask your provider, even your new provider, if you could observe their session to see how your child interacts with them and to know if they are a good fit. So with this information, with all this information, you can more effectively advocate for your child.
I think sometimes we have to think, what are the ways that we can support our kids to continue on this therapy path? And it's definitely something that has to be talked about between the therapist and the family. Because if we don't know that there's a lot of pushback going on at home, we might not be seeing it in the therapy room, but we can definitely find ways to kind of help and support you guys in getting your child here.